All right, welcome everyone to the Tuesday, October 1st, already in the fourth quarter of the year, Tumwater City Council meeting. And with that, we will start off with roll call.
Councilmember Leota Dalhoff,
Present.
Councilmember Angela Jefferson,
Present.
Councilmember Joan Caffey,
That was a thumbs up.
I'm present. Sorry, couldn't find my button.
Councilmember Eileen Swarthout,
Present.
Councilmember Michael Althauser,
Present.
Councilmember Peter Agabi,
Present.
Councilmember
Yes.
Kelly Von Holtz,
Present.
Mayor Debbie Sullivan.
And I'm present. Join me in our salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have three special items this evening, and they're all proclamations. And we will start off with our proclamation for the Fire Prevention Week of October 6th to the 12th, and Councilmember Althauser will be reading that.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas the city of Tumwater is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our city, fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally. Homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk. And whereas home fires killed more than 2,700 people in the United States in 2022, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 360,000 home fires. And whereas, according to the NFPA, smoke alarms reduce the risk of dying in a home fire by more than half, 54%. Meanwhile, roughly 3 out of 5 fire deaths happen in homes with either no smoke alarms or no working smoke alarms. Whereas smoke alarms can sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in the event of fire, in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. And whereas residents are responsive to public education measures and can take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes, residents should test smoke alarms at least once a month. Whereas first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas the 2024 Fire Protection Week theme, Smoke Alarms, Make Them Work for You, serves to educate the public about the importance of having working smoke alarms in the home. Now, therefore, Debbie Sullivan, Mayor of the City of Tumwater, does hereby proclaim the week of October 6, 2024 through October 12th, 2024, Fire Prevention Week, and urges all residents and businesses in the city of Tumwater to heed these messages and support the efforts of the Tumwater Fire Department and other emergency services to keep us safe from fires in times of medical emergencies. Signed here in the city of Tumwater and recognized today, October 1st, year 2024. For those watching at home who might not have been able to see that, we were joined by several of our firefighters, some of our finest, who were then just called away to a call. So duty never takes a break, and we appreciate the great service from our folks at the fire department.
Great, thank you. I will present this to the fire chief. If you want to say any words, you certainly can. So here is the proclamation. And I will go ahead and give you, I rushed and got enough pens for all the firefighters, and then they all were out. So I will. You bet. And here you go. And if you want to say anything.
Things. Yeah, what great timing, huh? Thank you, Mayor
Happens
and
every year.
Council. Yeah, Mayor and Council members. Just a few points here. We observe Fire Prevention Week the same week every year. It's actually the week of the Great Chicago Fire from 1871, where a lot of fire prevention and fire safety efforts really started in this country. As mentioned, the theme this year is smoke alarms. Make them work for you. Some of the statistics were mentioned there, but again, more than 1/3 of home fire deaths occur in homes with no smoke alarms are even present in those homes. And some of the key messages are they need install smoke alarms in every bedroom, outside each sleeping area, and on each level of the residence. Make sure they meet the needs of all family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. There are some devices out there that help. Test smoke alarms at least once a month. Replace old smoke alarms when they're 10 years old or they don't respond when tested. So this month we'll be out visiting area schools and doing fire prevention education. And we also have a smoke detector replacement program. If anyone is in need of a smoke detector, please call the fire station or we'll arrange a time to come out and install that. So once again, thank you very much.
Great, thank you. And then I will be reading the next proclamation, which is Walk to School Month, which is October 2024. Proclamation, whereas bicycle pedestrian active transportation safety improvements, a priority can help protect the life and the safety of our Tumwater youth. And whereas the city of Tumwater is working to add bike lanes, trails, sidewalks, and improve street crossings to better connect our neighborhoods and to provide safer routes to schools. And whereas increasing physical activities improves the health of our youth. And whereas regular walking, biking, rolling to school can be fun and increase students' readiness to learn. And whereas driving students to school contributes to traffic congestion and air pollution. And whereas an important role for parents and caregivers is to teach your children how to safely walk, bike, and roll on our city streets. And whereas in October, community leaders, parents, children from all around the world will join together for walk to school events to increase awareness about the health and environmental benefits of walking and biking to school. Now, therefore, I, Debbie Sullivan, the mayor of the city of Tumwater, do hereby proclaim October 2024 as Walk to School Month. And I call upon the people of the city of Tumwater to promote the safety and health of children this month and throughout the year by supporting pedestrian, bicycle and active transportation improvements, modeling safe pedestrian and bicycle behaviors, and help make our roads safer for those walking and biking by participating in safe driving practices and following the speed limits. I invite parents, school employees, and community leaders to make a lasting impression on our community's youth by joining Tumwater students in walking to school. Signed on this date, October 1st, 2024, Debbie Sullivan. And I have a member of the Walk and Roll program, so I will present this to you.
Thank you. So Intercity Transit's Walk and Roll program helps schools organize walk and roll to school events that encourage families to consider walking and biking to school instead of driving in their car. These events help improve safety by reducing traffic congestion and improving air quality around the school. They also provide an opportunity for students to learn and practice pedestrian safety skills to build some physical activity into their day. We do normally support Michael T. Simmons Elementary School with organizing walk to school events, and we do plan to this school year, but due to the construction that's happening in their walking route, we're going to postpone until the spring. But we will be supporting their walk to school events this year or next year. So I would like to thank the city of Tumwater for continuing to work on making Tumwater a more walk and bicycle friendly city. And thank you for recognizing October 2024 as Walk to School Month.
Great, thank you. All right, we have another proclamation. This one is going to be read by Councilmember Von Holtz. It's a Hispanic Heritage Work Month of October September 15th to October 15th, 2024. Whoops, 1 second. Go ahead.
Okay. Proclamation. Whereas each year, Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th by celebrating the histories, cultures, and contributions of those whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. And whereas National Hispanic Heritage Month celebrates and recognizes Hispanic American contributions to U.S. society and culture, designated in 1968 when Congress passed Public Law 90-498, authorizing and requesting the president to issue an annual proclamation of National Hispanic Heritage during mid-September. September 15th marks the anniversary of independence from the Latin American countries of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Mexico. Mexico celebrates its independence on September 16th, and Chile celebrates its independence on September 18th. And whereas National Hispanic Heritage Month is time to honor the many ways Hispanics, Latinos, and Latinx contributes to Tumwater, celebrate diverse cultures, and work towards a stronger, more inclusive, and prosperous community for all. And whereas Hispanic Americans have made exceptional contributions throughout our history in areas including science, medicine, business, law, sports, education, government, and military. Our culture has been enriched by the art, food, music, literature, and creativity of Hispanic people. And whereas understanding the lived experiences of Hispanics in Tumwater is critical to the creation of city services, development, infrastructure, programs, and investments with mutual benefits for all who reside in our community. Now, therefore, Debbie Sullivan, Mayor of the City of Tumwater, do hereby proclaim the month of National Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th through October 15th, 2024. And she urges people to join her in learning and participating in events that celebrate the rich Hispanic cultural traditions. Signed in the City of Tumwater, Washington, this first day of October in the year 2024. Debbie Sullivan.
Great, thank you. The individuals to accept this were not able to attend tonight, so I will make sure that they get the proclamation. All right, that's all of our special items. Now we're going to go to public comment, and I'm going to check and see if anyone registered online. Do we have anyone signed up? All right, we have two individuals. The first one is Barry Halverson. If you can come to the microphone and state your name and your address for the record. And 3 minutes, we have 3-minute time limit and we have a clock.
Mayor Sullivan, council members, my name is Barry Halverson. I am an unincorporated Thurston County taxpayer from Yelm, Washington. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the Capitol Lake Deschutes River Estuary Interlocal Agreement. Back on 11 October, I testified at the Board of County Commissioners meeting on this subject just before they approved the Memorandum of Understanding for this subject. I told them then, as I will tell you now, this project is a worthwhile endeavor. However, I do not believe the funding mechanism to support the maintenance dredging after the lake is returned to an estuary by the state is good or fair for the taxpayers. The ILA binds you for over 24 years to pay over $7.5 million into a fund to maintenance dredge the areas in Bud Inlet around marinas and yacht clubs, not port facilities or the deep water areas. Many leaders that I have talked to do not know this fact. You have to read the document, section 10.1.1 of the ILA. These are private businesses, except for the City of Olympia Marina. This amounts to a gifting of taxpayer dollars to private citizens and businesses. Your tax dollars should not be used for this or anything to do with Bud Inlet. This problem was caused by the state 75 years ago, and it is the state's responsibility to fund any additional dredging if they so desire, or it is the responsibility of the private marinas and yacht clubs, not the taxpayers. Now, don't let me be misunderstood. The state is paying for the rehabilitation of the estuary. I'm talking about the West Bay area where this ILA actually pertains to. I forwarded you a letter with detailed facts about this project and the ILA. I hope you got it. That letter was vetted with the Department of Enterprise Services, DES, to ensure that my facts were correct. Signing this ILA would be a mistake. You would be subjecting every mayor and city council member for the next 24 years to paying this debt. And although those costs in the first year are expected to be only about $184,000, that annual bill will grow to over $500,000 a year by the end of that ILA. I heard tonight there's a lot of things that you would like to do. The city of Tumwater has done a lot of great things with bike paths and walking paths and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that you could use that money for other than paying for private marinas and the yacht club. Do not approve this ILA. Send it back to DES and make them find another avenue to pay for this. Most likely state funds or marina and yacht club funds, or a combination of those two. Why should taxpayers be paying to dredge areas to allow private vessels to go in and out of their docking berths? Mayor, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Next person signed up is Pamela Hansen.
That was amazing. Pamela Hansen, Post Office Box 14521, Tumwater, Washington. I'm going to start now. Intro. Regarding last meeting's testimony, the Lee County Sheriff and their seizure and surveillance funding are now separate. Good evening. I would like to begin with a happy birthday to former President Jimmy Carter, born 100 years ago today in 1924. President Jimmy Carter was once paired with General Colin Powell in 1994 on a peace mission to Haiti. Powell was the enforcer on that peace negotiation mission, and though he later wrote a children's book that I read in Alaska, he was also known for breaking his glass-top desk with notes he had placed underneath. Fast forward to the National Guard Training, Logistics, and Education Center that turned into the Army Readiness Center and now appears to be the Thurston County Readiness Center. Let me say that again, the Thurston County Readiness Center. I spent many hours researching my SEAL team scripts when I had a flip phone and no ChatGPT. I will not be going down that old rabbit hole, taking a deep dive into the following. Judge Dixon has already ruled on the military use of our parks, meaning that the United States Navy SEALs cannot use our state parks for ops. But what about Tumwater? The Kimmy Street Military Facility was allowed to be placed there through a quasi-judicial process, meaning without significant input or process involving hearings, committee meetings, testimony, town halls, and/or a significant opportunity for providing information to the public that could be a foundation for a restraining order or litigation. Why do I say that? Because ownership of land is different than use of the land. During COVID, my non-VPN phone signal was redirected to a cell tower in the middle of one of the I-5 on-ramp loops on Trosper Road. I traced my signal while driving and screenshotted the data. These days, Stingrays, a military invention, are quite small, and so are the old suitcase cell towers. One possible reason for my phone using a non-traditional cell tower location is that the cell tower map was corrupted, but by whom? I am going to leave you with a reminder and a trivia question, both about AI. The reminder, this week AI kept inserting the word pig into my very respectful request for generating law enforcement storyboard YouTube channel images. The word pig. The question, was AI invented by MIT, ARPA, or DARPA? Outro, disclaimer. For the most part, I will continue with this issue not at the podium due to the national security implications of the Tumwater military-owned property with unknown capabilities, unknown staff, and unknown resources provided by Congress that may include decisions of U.S. Representative Adam Smith and U.S. Representative Marilyn Strickland. It was a public process, though controversial, that eventually demilitarized a military facility in Gakona, Alaska. Rest assured, there is no quick answer to this undefined massive military controversy in Tumwater, and I appreciate your time just as I appreciated Governor Sean Parnell, Lieutenant Governor Meade Treadwell, and U.S. Senator Mark Begich's retina scanner door in Alaska that may have been a door to a skiff. And that is my happy birthday effort for President Jimmy Carter.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? I do not see anyone else in council chambers. All right, with that, we will now move to our public hearing. Oh, consent, I'm sorry. I was trying to move this a little faster. The consent agenda item, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Von Holst, seconded by Councilmember Althauser. Boy, I'm having an issue tonight. So with
It's
all
hard
of,
to start.
with that, any discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Right?
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. With that, we approve minutes from our city council meeting of September 17th, payment vouchers and the lodging tax committee, the LTAC committee funding recommendations. Now we will move to the public hearing, which is in regarding Resolution R 2024-016, which is opposing the passage of Washington State Ballot Initiative number 2117, considering the carbon tax credit trading. So with that, I have staff who will be presenting.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I'm here to deliver a resolution that staff was invited to bring to the council. The topic is, as Mayor has pointed out, adopting Resolution R 2024-016, opposing the passage of Washington State Ballot Initiative number 2117 concerning carbon tax credit trading. As noted in the resolution text, initiative number 2117 seeks to repeal sections of the 2021 Washington Climate Commitment Act. It seeks to bar any state agency from imposing any type of program involving the trading of carbon tax credits. Our adoption of this resolution to oppose initiative number 2117 supports our strategic priority to be a leader in environmental health and sustainability. So the initiative, if passed, also holds the potential to cause the city to lose access to grants under the Washington Climate Commitment Act. So the public has an interest in hearing a council discussion on this topic here in the council chambers in advance of community members receiving their ballots and gaining their ability to vote. So your alternatives are to adopt or not adopt the resolution, and staff's recommended action is to adopt Resolution R 2024-016, opposing the passage of Washington State Ballot Initiative number 2117 concerning carbon tax credit trading.
Okay, any questions before we get started? Hey, I'm going to now open up the public testimony portion of this. And so I'm going to open this up. Do we have anyone registered online?
We have one.
All right. Can you let them in, and then please introduce yourself, and we will have 3 minutes for comment.
Jim Lazar.
Go ahead.
Am I being heard?
We can hear you. Go ahead and state your name and address for the record.
Jim Lazar, 1907 Lakehurst Drive, in a city just outside of Tumwater, named for a beer that used to be brewed in Tumwater. I am a retired energy economist. I've spent a career working in energy, utility regulation, energy efficiency, and renewable energy. The Climate Commitment Act is one of the most important and boldest steps that any state has taken to address the climate crisis. This council has adopted the Climate Emergency Resolution. You are a participant in the efforts around the Climate Mitigation Plan. You've taken substantial steps yourself. Later this week, we will have a ribbon cutting for one of your new energy projects. I look forward to seeing many of you there. Initiative 2117 would undo this bold step. And the number of things that are being funded in our community from the Climate Commitment Act is extraordinary. Dozens of electric vehicle charging stations, energy efficiency in schools and public buildings. The Resilience Center that's been built at the Nisqually Tribal Headquarters is an example. There's a long list of the projects that have been funded in Thurston County with the Climate Commitment Act money. I commend the council on taking up this resolution. I serve as one of the co-leads for the local indivisible chapter, which has 700 members countywide. So I'm going to say dozens in Tumwater, but I don't have an exact number. And we've been working against all 4 of the initiatives. The loss of the capital gains tax would be devastating to the schools. But the repeal of the Climate Commitment Act would be devastating to our energy efficiency, renewable energy, wildfire prevention, and other measures that are underway in the state. Please vote in support of this resolution and add your name to the more than 500 entities around the state that have endorsed the no on 2117 position. Other cities have done so. I know that Vancouver, Washington was one of the first, and the resolutions like this are before many of our cities now. Olympia is taking it up next week, and I'm confident they will also adopt a similar resolution. Please vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else registered online? We do not have anyone registered in council chambers. So with that, I will go ahead and close the public comment portion. And so now I will ask council for any comments and then taking whatever action you would choose to do. So do I have any, Councilman Rothhauser?
Did you? Oh, okay. No, I was just gonna make it. Okay, great. Thanks for bringing this forward, Mayor. I think this is a very important act that we're going to take, or that I hope we're going to take, I should say. I agree with a lot of the points that Jim made on the call. I think this is a really important state law strategically for our future. As Jim stated, as we've done, we've declared a climate emergency. We are part of the local climate effort in order to try to deal with this. We've had testimony from high school students before this body about the importance of climate change and the urgent need to take action. We are beneficiaries of this act directly in the form of grants. We are also beneficiaries indirectly in the form of future funding streams. We did hear a public comment tonight about the importance of state funding streams for projects like the estuary that are important projects. And I think that the viability of environmental projects like those on the state level really depend upon future funding. So I think this is a really important statement for us to make. We don't typically weigh in on state measures when there are state initiatives on the ballot. But I thought that this was an important one for us to bring forward because we have a lot to lose today and we've got even more to lose tomorrow. So I would encourage everyone to join me in voting to adopt the resolution.
Any others? Councilmember Swarthout?
Thank you, Councilmember Rothhauser. I appreciate you bringing this forward. It is an important issue. We are, as chairman of the, or I represent Tumwater on the climate mitigation team here in Thurston County, the work that we've already done so far and that we're continuing to make progress. And it's difficult. It really is without the proper funding. And so we keep hearing from our constituents that we're not doing enough fast enough and so or quick enough. And so it's difficult, but it's about funding and strategic planning like this. And so I'm totally in support I would like to make a motion that we adopt resolution R 2024-016, opposing the passage of Washington State ballot initiative number 2117 concerning carbon tax credit trading.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Swarthout, seconded by Councilmember Althauser. Any additional comments? Councilmember Kathy, anyone else? Are we waiting? Are you all waiting for the vote?
Oh, so just waiting to jump up and down and say yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, with that, then I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. And now we have committee reports. So the first committee report is Public Health and Safety, Councilmember Agabi.
One second. You got me at that. So our meeting is so our meeting is on October 8th, and the agenda for that meeting, I see two agenda items, and one is the crisis response update, and then the second one is the resolution which I spoke about last meeting, and it's resolution 2024-015, and this resolution is promoting civil rights and hate against citizens in the city of Tumwater.
Great. And that will be next week.
Yes, October 8th.
All right. Next one is General Government Committee, Councilmember Althauser.
Thank you, Mayor. The General Government Committee meets on the second Wednesday of the month, which means we are meeting a week from tomorrow. We have not met since our last council meeting, but at our next council meeting, we will be continuing our discussion of the comp plan amendments. And that's my report until we have our next meeting.
Great, thank you. Public Works Committee, Councilmember Swarthout.
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Works Committee will be meeting on Thursday, October 3rd at 8 a.m. And rather, on our agenda, we have a small works contract with Sarah Electric for the City of Tumwater Fleet EV charging stations project, and also an interagency agreement with the Washington Department of Commerce for Washington Electric Vehicle Charging Program. And also, we will talk about the acquisition of the Reichdahl and Langton properties for the Percival Creek Fish Passage Barrier Removal Project. So we'll see you all at 8.
Great, thank you. Budget and Finance Committee has not met, and we don't have one scheduled at this time. So now we will move to Mayor's City Administrator report, and we will start with City Administrator Parks.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. I just have a few updates this evening. First, on the budget, we hope to have all of the binders ready and waiting for you on the tables here at our work session next week. We are still planning to have a hybrid work session if any of you are able to make it here to City Hall. I wanted to point out to you that the AWC legislative agenda has been finalized and is up on AWC's website. I would encourage you to take a look at that. It talks about fiscal sustainability, which is related to the property tax cap, which is currently 1%. It talks about behavioral health treatment capacity, talks about housing supply, public safety issues, as well as infrastructure investment. So I would encourage you to visit AWC's website and take a look at those legislative priorities. And then lastly, just a couple of updates on design projects. We are just about ready to bring a service provider agreement to committee and to council for the 93rd Avenue interchange study, which will be commencing here hopefully before the end of the year. And we just conducted interviews last week with 2 of the finalists for the consultant teams who are finalists for the Deschutes Valley Trail design project, which we're all very excited to get started on. So with that, I can answer any questions if there are any.
Any questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so since our last meeting, I did attend an Intercity Transit Authority Board meeting, which was on September 18th. And that was a very interesting meeting because it was our annual joint meeting with the Citizens Advisory Committee. So it was definitely a room of a lot of people attending. One of the items that we did was approve and present the Citizen Advisory Committee stipend program. That is something that's new, and so that will help those community individuals that serve on that committee to receive some kind of compensation. They can choose to opt out if they choose to. So that program will be starting soon. And then we also had a review of the 2025 to 2030 strategic plan, and also reviewed the Citizen Advisory Committee self-assessment. We went through those processes. And then we also got to welcome and congratulate all of the individuals that for Intercity Transit that participated in the rodeo. And they were very, for the very first time in 7 years, Intercity Transit was not state champion. So that was, but they did get second. So they have sent up a really high bar for a long period of time. And with that, that was pretty much it. I will be also attending the Intercity Transit Authority Board meeting tomorrow night. Excuse me. Just as a reminder, sorry. Just as a reminder, we have the drop-off cleanup event this Saturday. And that is from, I believe, from 9 until noon. So all the public can come and bring recycled items, especially things for the shredder. And I believe it's 4 bags or 5 bags of limited to the number of things that you can shred. But we will have that on Saturday. So with that, I will now go to do council reports. And I will start in Zoom, and I will start with Councilmember Kathy.
Thank you, Mayor. I do not have a report. I haven't had a meeting. My meetings start tomorrow morning for the month. So it's not one of those, you know, before the sun comes up meeting, but it is before noon. So anyway, my meetings start tomorrow morning.
Great. Councilmember Jefferson?
Yes, I had 3 meetings here I'd like to discuss. On the 26th of September, I had the EMS council meeting. Some highlights is our 8th medic location we know is here in Tumwater. So there was a contract update, and it's looking like August, September 2025, we will have our first 5 ambulances. So contract negotiations are ongoing now, and everyone is agreeing with the criteria, and we should see it soon in one of our city council work sessions. We also discussed the draft comprehensive plan update, and focus is going to be more on home care. Less time in the hospital and now recovery at home. And also how we ran out of beds that last time during COVID. So some lessons learned about that is going to be in the comp plan. There's going to be a pilot program called Secure Medications in the Field. So when a medic enters an apartment or a house, and if they see a whole bunch of medications hanging around, they're going to offer a medication secure bags and to prevent overdoses. And they're just going to ask 4 questions. So we're going to study those 4 questions, and they're going to report back to us on if this is a good thing for the community. Next, we attended the new Leadership Club formation at Black Hills High School on Saturday, the 21st at 8 a.m. Councilmember Dahlhoff, Van Holtz, and Councilmember Swarthout. We all went to speak for a couple of minutes to those high schoolers. Basically, we were on a recruiting mission to partner with young adults for future employees at the city, and also for volunteering with us. So I'd just like to have a portion on record, if you could give me a couple of minutes. One of the things that I had said was, at City Hall, behind every desk or vehicle is a person working to make decisions that affect everyone who lives here. These people are council members, city planners, administrators, police officers, firefighters, EMT, and park workers. but behind them are volunteers, everyday citizens like you who bring new ideas and energies to the table. So why, this is for parents and to young people in Tumwater. So why should you come volunteer for Tumwater? Why should you come work with us? First of all, you learn how your city operates. They're going to gain valuable career skills. So whether they're interested in administration, communications, law, or public service, you'll find opportunities to learn and grow. By the way, you don't need a 4 or a 6-year degree for many of these jobs. You will make a real impact because your voice will be heard as you become involved in creating policies that affect our parks, housing, youth services like Tumwater Hopes, which educate youth about the dangers of drug, alcohol, and vaping use in elementary and high schools. And most important is the environment, which is very important to young people today because of global warming. So they were very excited, ready to partner, and wanted to get to work right away. On September the 28th September at the Tumwater Falls Fest, I was at the school district tent where we were talking to the community about T-Works and our partnership together. I met a young lady and she told me again, thank you, when are we gonna get started, so that they're ready to rock and they're ready to come volunteer with us. Thanks, that's my report.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Dollhoff?
Thank you, Mayor. As Councilmember Jefferson talked about the Leadership Day, which was awesome. And then after you, Angela, Kelly, Eileen, and I were at the booth and we connected with Isabella. And I already received an email from one of the youths on September 21st about wanting to learn more about council. So super exciting. And I appreciate that we're keeping that momentum going. And a lot of kudos to Chris Sigg, who's coming back into our community, who's a Tumwater alumni. It's going to be an amazing partnership. So I appreciate in advance the partnership with the city of Tumwater. Along with that, Angela also talked about Falls Fest. Super cool. Great to connect with our community that way. And then I also have TCOM, which is 911 tomorrow, and then public health and safety and general government. So I feel like I follow Joan with her meetings. Like she starts and then I start. So then we'll have updates next time. Thank you, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Von Holtz.
Thank you, Mayor. Like Councilmember Jefferson and Councilmember Dollhoff both said, we did attend an amazing event with our youth, and it was really good. And I also got an email from one of the students who was there, and she has ideas of what we can plant alongside our roadsides to help protect the monarch butterflies. So I will be forwarding that email to you, Administrator Parks. My committee are light, so I don't have anything until next week with public health and safety at 8 a.m. I'm so excited. And Falls Fest, what a great event. I just really want to thank all the staff and all the volunteers. That was a really good event. We did get questions though. We were all at the school district tent, but we did get questions. Of course, what are you going to do with the brewery? And what's happening with South Pacific. So, and I did start thinking about that. One, it makes me, every time I drive by there, I'm sad for 2 reasons, because it's sort of a hot mess right now. And I really miss the almond fried chicken there. But I'll get over it. But now that fall is starting, so that fire occurred in late June. Now it's fall. Now we're getting to a point where there's going to be stormwater runoff. So that was the 2 questions that we really got, was the brewery and South Paw.
Thank you. So the update on the South Pacific building is that the owner, I spoke with him a week ago Friday. He had just gotten authorization from his insurance company to move forward, and he has, if I'm not mistaken, applied for a demolition permit and should be moving forward with that very shortly. The brewery redevelopment project continues to move forward under the EPA grant, as well as the Department of Ecology grants. So we are doing phase 1 environmental assessments, phase 2 environmental assessments, and as soon as we're able to hire a economic development coordinator, and we'll be continuing forward with the plan to do a planned action EIS process, which will be a large, lengthy community process to try and figure out what an end use could be, and as a result of that, what the cleanup action might be required for that particular property in terms of environmental cleanup. So hopefully that will be an ongoing conversation for many months.
Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Agabi.
So last week, Thursday, I was supposed to have a EDC board meeting, but I missed that because I had a medical appointment. But on Friday, I had my monthly 1-hour meeting with Michael Cave, the director of EDC, and he did brief me what happened at the meeting, and specifically as it relates to stormwater. So over the summer months, he has sent me a video of a new startup business here by the airport. That business is a national business, and the branch in Tumwater is a branch of it's a branch of a main branch somewhere up in the East Coast, and they what they do is helping high school kids during their last year of secondary, last year in high school, into an apprentice program into computering, trades, and so on and so forth. And the program is sort of due to what it does and how it's able to graduate majority of the participants in that program. So I think that was very cool and very nice that in addition to the skill center here that we have in Tumwater, we have an additional resource that our high school students or anybody of the street that is willing to participate can go to. So for the EDC meeting on Thursday, we are going to be having a strategic board planning session on October 38th, which was mostly what the presentation that for the meeting that I made on Thursday was about. So that is pretty much what was what I covered. And since Austin is no longer with us, and we're in the process of trying to find a new staff that will do what Austin used to do, Michael Cave has said to me that with Austin being gone, he is not sure how to proceed further. And Lisa, I had told him to get in touch with you. He was going to call you, and you and him were going to sit down and have a session and plan out how that will play out. But I did tell him what you shared with us regarding staffing and what you had in mind. So hopefully that is what it's looking for. So that is what I got.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Althauser.
Thank you, Mayor. The Regional Housing Council, this is typically when I would give a report from our meeting at the end of the month, but that meeting was canceled, so I don't have a report to give at this time, and none of my other committees have met either. So similar to some other council members, I will have a full report a couple weeks from now.
Great. It looks like all of our meetings bunch up, doesn't it? Councilmember Swarthout.
And I will chime in on that. My next assigned meeting will be on Friday, October 4th with the Thurston Regional Planning Council. That's at 8:30. And I do want to also attended the Fall Fest, and it was amazing. It really is. It's such a wonderful day to see all the families and the grandparents and the great dogs and the food and the music. It was just, the weather was perfect. It wasn't too hot, and just, it's amazing with the salmon down there. It's such a beautiful place. So I just cannot commend our parks people enough for all the work that went into that and just creating this family-friendly event that they look forward to every year. And the other question, the third most important question that came up is, when is the Falls Terrace opening? Just saying. So.
Yeah, that's a private business. Sorry. Yeah, I keep hearing it's going to, but yeah. So, all right. And since there's no other business, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.